Cowabunga, dudes, because you have reached Wrestling of Toy Collector Review. I'm your man, Steele, and today I will be reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front here, let's show both Leonardo and all of his accessories. Then up here, I have a couple vintage illustrations of Leonardo. In the middle here, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo. Below that, it reads, Leonardo with storage cell, the leader with a locker. Then over here, you have a starburst that reads, new, shell opens for weapon storage. Then below that, you have a bubble that says, bag it in my back. And down here, you have an illustration of the actual figure. Then in the corner here, you have the Playmates Toys logo. On the back of the packaging here, you have all kinds of cool features. Up here in the corner, it says Nickelodeon. Over here again, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo. Then over here, you have a box that reads, The Evolution of the Turtles. A boy's bowl of pet turtles falls into the stench of an underground city sewer. They land on Splinter, a penniless but powerful ninja master who lives in the muck. Over here it says, Splinter's enemy, Shredder, the leader of the evil Foot Clan, pours a disgusting green ooze over Splinter and accidentally the turtles, hoping to zap him dead. And over here it says, instead, the turtle pets mutate into turtle teens and Splinter turns into the biggest rat ever to face a trap. Then over here it says, Splinter, the big cheese leader, teaches the turtles the way of the ninja. Together they form a kick-stomping fighting team for the side of good against the deadly Foot Clan. Get ready for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then over here it says, one good turtle deserves another. And again you have that turtle emblem. And over here you have a cross-sell of all the other available figures. Then over here you have a bio-spec that reads, Portrait of Leonardo with storage cells, the leader with a locker. Vital statistics, accessories, Armadillo Club, Pizza Disc, Spiked Knuckles Climbing Claw, 2 Ninja Stars, 2 Katana Blades. Capacity, 16 turtle tons. Favorite book, Encyclopedia of Cabinets. Then over here it says, always prepared for any sewer situation. Leo's got everything he needs in his new Ninja Nook. Now when Leo leads the fearless foursome into Foot territory, he'll have all his wacky accessories to back him up. Everything fits neatly into Leo's traveling trunk. The Armadillo Club packed in place, the Spiked Knuckles securely stored, and the Pizza Disc mutely mounted. Even with all of this, Leo still has room for his Katana Blades and Ninja Stars, plus any extra sewer stuff you can cram in. So load him up, cause Leo's one leader who won't get caught up with his back empty. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Classic, Basic, Leonardo with storage cell. Leonardo was released on January 15th, 2023 with the suggested retail price of $12.99 and he's available at all major retailers. Leonardo was released along with the other classic basic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, Raphael storage cell, Michelangelo storage cell, and Donatello storage cell. Leonardo has 7 points of articulation and his accessories include his 2 signature katanas, 2 ninja throwing stars, an armadillo club, pizza disc, and 2 climbing claws. Leonardo stands 4 inches tall and he is meant for fans ages 4 and up. I have Leonardo on my display table, so I want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First I want to mention that this figure is actually a reissue. He's a reissue from the original Leonardo that came with Sword Cell that was released in the early 90s. And I don't have my original Leonardo anymore on hand to do a side-by-side comparison. I'm just going off of memory, but he does look exactly like it. I mean, there might be some slight color differences from what I've noted from my research on this figure, but the only difference is maybe just the the color scheme might be slightly off. So there is a difference, or there is a way to tell the difference between the original and the reissue. And I do firmly believe that this version of Leonardo was based more on the cartoon look, because up until then we didn't really have a figure that represented the cartoon version of Leonardo. And I feel like this is more of a hybrid between the both, because the pupils were not really colored in yet, and you get that grin that they kind of had in the comic book look. But if you know the story from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I do have my original run reissue on hand to do a side-by-side comparison, when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line came out in the late 80s, they didn't have an animated model from the cartoon series that based the figures on. So they based them more on the comic book look. So the look of this version of Leonardo is more based on what you read in the comic book, because the comic book was in black and white. Unfortunately, all the turtles were supposed to be red. You know, the only differences were the weapons. Well, when the cartoon series was released, they gave them their own characteristics, and they color coordinated them all. So like Leonardo was blue, Raphael was red, Donatello was purple, and Michelangelo was yellow or orange, whatever you want to call it. So they all had like a different look, and that also carried on a lot of other toy lines like Power Rangers. Everyone had their own color. I'm gonna go move them off to the side. I'm going to talk about Leonardo. And he came chock full of accessories, which is really, really cool. He came with a couple throwing stars. And unfortunately, you cannot arm Leonardo with these throwing stars because the throwing stars are too thin to fit into his fist. But it's a cool accessory to have nonetheless. And you also get a pizza disc. And the pizza disc has some sticker detail. It shows you some of the toppings on top of the pizza. It's really cool. And you got this rough edge. You gotta give it that buzzsaw look to it. And Leonardo can actually hold this pizza. Fits right into his fist. Just like that. Kind of a fun accessory. And back in the 90s, if you were around in the 90s, you knew a lot of toys were more kind of like, they were kind of gross and colorful, and there's a lot of the accessories were kind of like extreme. Like you had like big water cannons that came with a lot of the figures, a lot of neon colors. It was very, very different in the 90s. You know, the transition from the 80s and 90s, there's a huge difference between what kids liked and how they produced toys. But you also get a couple of spiked knuckles. Another cool accessory. In order to arm Leonardo with spiked knuckles, you have like pegs like at the top and the bottom of the spiked knuckles. And his fists are kind of like makeshift portholes, kind of like an innovative way to have open-handed, portholes. All you have to do is just slip the pegs right in the top and the bottom of the hands, slide it over the knuckles, and now you have Leonardo armed with spiked knuckles. Kind of a cool feature. Put that off to the side. And another weird accessory, and I mentioned that, in the 90s, toys got kind of weird and gross, and this is very innovative. You have this armadillo club, and you see a lot of cool, molded detail on it. Let me zoom in on it. I mean, the armadillo has a face, you have ears, eyes, you have spikes, the shell. It's a really cool feature. You got legs, arms. It's really nicely detailed for just an accessory. But in order to arm Leonardo with this armadillo club, you have this tail right here, and it fits right into his fist. Kind of like a little fun accessory right there. I don't know why a ninja would have an armadillo club, but it's what it was back in the 90s. And finally, you can't talk about Leonardo unless you talk about his trademark katanas. And unfortunately, these katanas are molded out of a soft plastic, and in the blister tray, they were kind of like bent a little bit. So I was hoping over time they'd form into their straight edge katanas. Because when you look at the original Leonardo, his katanas are pretty straight. And that's because, let me put him off to the side, because he included a tree with his weapons on it, and you kind of had to clip your weapons off this tree. It's a cool feature. They kept it nice and straight, and and unfortunately, this figure comes with a storage cell, so you can actually store all these accessories in Leonardo, and they actually all fit. And the problem with the original run, you had like a lot of these trees and these turtle figures that came with these weapons, but these weapons were easy to lose. There's no place to store them, and anyways, a lot of these weapons that came on this tree weren't really featured on the cartoon series, but they stick with their trademark weapons. So I think the amount of accessories that come with this version of Leonardo, or the version that came out originally back in the 90s, was perfect. I mean, a lot of fun stuff. And if you lose any of the accessories, I mean, an armadillo club's not really a big deal, or a pizza disc, because as long as you keep the katanas around, you're good. But in order to store Leonardo's weapons, you have the shell right here, you have this hinge right here, you have a tab right here. You just click it open right like that. And you got a peg right here, and those are meant for your throwing stars. And in the middle of throwing stars, you have a little porthole. All you have to do is just plug that right into that peg, just like that, and they both fit, which is really fantastic. go. Yeah, got both stars stored in Leonardo's shell. Next accessory I'm going to store is this piece of this. I'll put that in the back. I'm going to kind of tilt them a little bit so accessories don't fall out. I'm going to take this armadillo club, put that in there. This spiked knuckles. They actually all fit, which is spectacular. You just clip it in place, and my hinge isn't that sturdy, so I have a hard time staying in place. So I have all of Leonardo's accessories on his back. In order to arm him with his katana, all you have to do is take the handle right here, you put into his hand, just like that. So I can have Leonardo armed with his katanas, or I can use his shell to store these katanas. You do that because the cool feature about Turtles and a lot of figures that came out around this era was you're able to store weapons on the actual figure. But in the early 90s, late 90s, you didn't really have that feature. And Turtles were one of the first toy lines that really do that. And you just slide these swords right into that sheath right there. And this is kind of where my swords got bent a little bit because I stored my Leonardo with the swords in the sheath like this. You kind of cross it over. You do have to bend it over just a little bit to get it to fit on the bottom here. Really, really cool accessories. But now you have Leonardo with all those accessories stored on Leonardo. A really cool figure, and if you have a chance, I'd advise you to pick it up because, I mean, it's very, very close to what the original Leonardo looks like. But go and rotate around so you guys see what it looks like from all angles. But if you guys found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching Steele's Awesome Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.